Okay, back in 1989, Mike Rogers, who was my first partner, came to me and asked me if I wanted to buy the dive shop with him. I'm like, where are we going to get money to buy a dive shop? We were both instructors for Elmer at the time, or maybe actually I was a dive master, and he was an instructor. And so we put our heads together and we came up with a plan to go down to Daytona Bike Week in Florida, where about 250,000 guys were gathering. And I came up with an idea to brand leather jackets with an electric brand, and we raised about $10,000. That was our seed money to buy the shop. We went to most of the scuba shops in the Chicago area. Back then there was 23 of them. I think we went to 21 of them. And what we saw was the same thing every single store. White wire racks, things zip tied to the wire racks. You couldn't pick up anything, you couldn't touch anything. And after an exhaustive day of going to all those shops, we stopped at a ski shop up in Glenview, and we're like, this is the feel we're looking for. All wood and cool construction and slat wall instead of those white grid things. And in education, we just kind of passed along what Elmer passed along all along, and that was quality dive instruction instead of just fast dive instruction. Quality was more important than numbers. We were never really about the numbers. We were more about turning out good divers, and we've got a good safety record because of that. But yeah, we were blessed with a really good staff and kept that staff after Elmer retired back in 1989. And passed away in 2008. So I owe a lot to him. Elmer was a great guy. He's the kind of guy that would never say, and I always try and emulate that part of him. He's the kind of guy that if he didn't like somebody, he just wouldn't say anything about him. He wouldn't say anything bad about him, which is a difficult thing to do as a human being, especially after being in the business this long. But he was a good guy, and we miss him. Compressor just recently went out, so the compressor really is the heart of the scuba business. You can't run a dive shop without a compressor because you need compressed air literally for everything, from servicing regulators to obviously teaching classes to actually getting out and diving. And we just recently had to buy a new one and got it put in and got it ready to go. And it just filled the first couple of tanks just the other day. I kind of equate it to having hot water in your house. We're so used to just going to a faucet, turning on hot water, and hot water comes out as if it is the norm. A lot of people in the world don't have that. Well, same thing with us with good, fresh, clean air. We've prided ourselves on the quality of air that we provide here. It's grade E air, which is there's only 3 dive shops in Chicago of the 11 that are still here that are pumping grade E air. And nitrox and trimix fills as well, so we can do pretty much any mix with that compressor and the components that I've put together. This is our 30th year here at this location. We were in downtown Evanston for 2 years before that. So if we include Elmer's time, it's 50 years this year. Oldest dive shop in Chicago.